Hi there, you're watching Nightline with me, Zahir, Kelvin and Abdullah. News making the headlines. Malaysia, France call for immediate Gaza ceasefire and humanitarian aid delivery. And 2 suspected criminals killed in shootout with police in Jitra, Kada. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has emphasized the importance of ASEAN's cohesion and increasing intra-regional trade, urging a shift from rhetoric to concrete action. Highlighting ASEAN's commitment to regional unity, he pointed out ongoing initiatives to use local currencies in trade, signaling a move toward economic sovereignty and stronger multilateral cooperation.
We have attempted in ASEAN, other than enhancing inter-ASEAN trade, is even using financial settlement systems. We use our local currency. Of course, we're not talking about de-dollarization because there's a long way to go. But at least we try, Malaysia with Indonesia, Malaysia with Thailand, and together with China, trying to use our own local currency, even beginning with 10 or 20%. It makes a difference because we cannot continue complaining but not executing our own plan in our countries and our friendly neighbors.
Anwar said this in his keynote address at the BRICS Business Forum held in conjunction with the 17 BRICS Leaders Summit on Saturday. He also noted that BRICS holds the potential to reshape the course of history and called for reforms in international institutions, including the United Nations, International Monetary Fund and World Bank. Malaysia is participating in the summit as a BRICS partner country and as the chair of ASEAN for 2025. During his visit to Rio de Janeiro, Anwar is also scheduled to hold a business meeting with Brazilian multinational aerospace company Embraer. Now, the Prime Minister's participation in the 17 BRICS Leaders Summit provides a platform for Malaysia and its neighbouring ASEAN countries to engage with global superpowers. Analysts believe Anwar will use this opportunity to advocate for ASEAN's interests and position Malaysia as a constructive voice in shaping a more balanced global order. Geostrategist Azmi Hassan believes the Prime Minister's participation in the summit offers Malaysia and other ASEAN nations an opportunity to voice their perspectives and contribute to shaping key decisions made by major global powers.
It is very critical, very important that we play an active part in BRICS, in Global South too, so that any decision made by the superpowers, for example, we can put our voice or anything that benefit for the small or smaller nations.
Meanwhile, economist Muhammad Afzan Nizam Abdul Rashid said Malaysia's engagement with BRICS could help mitigate the impact of tariffs imposed by the United States.
The BRICS summit that will be attended by our Prime Minister will bring forward our ideas and our aspirations to be more integrated with the BRICS community that will facilitate our ambitions to diversify our markets and providing greater access to markets for both for our MSME and DIAS.
Earlier, Anwar stated that Malaysia and France had agreed on the need for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza to prevent the humanitarian crisis from worsening. The Prime Minister's strong condemnation of Israel's atrocities was also acknowledged by French President Emmanuel Macron. In a joint press conference at the Élysée Palace in Paris, both leaders agreed that peace must be restored without delay to enable the swift delivery of humanitarian aid to the people of Palestine and to facilitate the release of hostages. Anwar also highlighted his deep appreciation for France's ongoing commitment to the Gaza issue, particularly in its capacity as a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council.
Of course, we have condemned the continued bombings and atrocities inflicted upon civilians, women and children, and it's a shame that the international community is not able to resolve this. So your initiative much supported by us. No question about peace. And if it takes both sides to secure peace, I agree with you.
Anwar also stated that Malaysia strongly condemns Israel's aggression against Iran and fully supports France's efforts to de-escalate tensions in the Middle East.
And therefore, solution cannot happen without effective engagement. And therefore, I certainly support and I see your effort with some of our neighboring Arab countries trying to resolve the issue.
Macron added that Iran must also clearly affirm its support for the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and repeal legislation that restricts cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. Meanwhile, Palestinian group Hamas said it had responded on Friday in a positive spirit to a U.S. brokered Gaza ceasefire proposal, which proposes a release of hostages and negotiations on ending the conflict. Hamas said it had submitted its response to mediators Qatar and Egypt, stating it is fully ready to immediately begin a new round of serious negotiations on how to implement the proposed framework. According to Israeli media reports early on Saturday, Israeli government officials had received Hamas's official response to the latest ceasefire proposal framework and were reviewing its contents. US President Donald Trump said earlier this week that Israel had accepted the main conditions of a proposed 60-day truce, during which time negotiations would aim to permanently end the war. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has yet to publicly endorse the plan. In another development, the Prime Minister's official two-day visit to France has strengthened the strategic cooperation between the two countries, achieving various milestones. Furthermore, the meeting between Anwar and Macron expanded the bonds of friendship, benefiting both ASEAN and the European Union as a whole. According to Anwar, his discussions with Macron took place in a very open and honest atmosphere, reflecting the tradition of openness, tolerance and wisdom that underpin French democracy.
So may I again express my profound thanks, and hopefully before you reach Cambodia for the Francophone, I will not give any excuse if you fail to visit Malaysia. Now, first, on the bilateral, it's been further enhanced. I'm very happy with this visit and our collaboration.
Macron also described the visit as significant, highlighting that it was the first official visit by a senior Malaysian official in 15 years. He also welcomed the signing of agreements between the two countries in sectors such as minerals and aircraft procurement. Anwar also witnessed the signing of multiple agreements and held discussions with 4 leading French companies during his visit to the European nation. The strategic partnership between Kuala Lumpur and Paris covers key sectors with significant impact, including aerospace, clean energy and higher education. The agreements included AirAsia's purchase of long-range Airbus A321 XLR aircraft worth over 51 billion ringgit, with deliveries confirmed by 2028. This deal will not only expand AirAsia's flight network, but also support Malaysia's ambition to establish itself as a leading aviation hub in the Asia region. He also witnessed the signing of a memorandum of understanding between 3P Capital Advisor and Ardian, a prominent French private investment firm, aimed at exploring new investment opportunities in the private market. During a meeting with Emery's industrial minerals processing company with over 25 years of operations in Malaysia, Anwar was informed of their commitment to expand their activities and support the development of high-value, environmentally sustainable manufacturing sectors. The Prime Minister also met with Arkema, a global leader in specialty chemicals, currently assessing new investment potential in Malaysia. This investment is expected to create more high-skilled jobs, accelerate technology transfer, and strengthen Malaysia's position as a key bioeconomy hub in the Asia region. Moving on. In Kada, 2 men were killed in a shootout with police near the Bandar Darul Aman exit of the North-South Expressway in Jitra on Saturday morning. Both suspects are believed to be members of a larger criminal gang involved in violent crimes nationwide. The 8:05 a.m. incident occurred when a team from the Kada Criminal Investigation Department and Bukit Aman spotted 2 suspicious-looking men in a 4-wheel drive vehicle and attempted to stop the vehicle for inspection. However, the suspects refused to comply and opened fire, prompting the officers to return fire in self-defense. Both suspects were killed during the exchange.
Bila kita membuat pemeriksaan ke atas satu lelaki ini, kita tengok sebanyak 41 lebih 41 yang kita dah mempunyai rekod jenayah kekerasan.
2 firearms, a revolver and a semi-automatic pistol, along with several live rounds, a machete and tools believed to have been used in criminal activities were also seized. The identity of the second suspect has yet to be determined as no identification documents were found on him. Authorities believe the criminal gang has been active since 2019.
Kalian yang ramai, dekat hampir 30 orang yang betul-betul aktif, juga terlibat dengan gangsterism, juga terlibat dengan pengedaran dadah, persaingan dadah, dan juga terlibat dalam samun menggunakan senjata api, samun menggunakan senjata tajam.
The bodies have been sent to the Forensic Department of Sultanah Bahia Hospital in Alustar for post-mortem. Indonesian authorities have confirmed that so far no Malaysian was involved in the ferry sinking incident in the Bali Strait late Wednesday night. However, the Malaysian embassy in Jakarta is closely monitoring developments related to the incident, including claims that a 55-year-old Malaysian national, Fauzi Awang, may be among the dozens of victims still reported missing. According to the embassy, claims regarding Fauzi cannot be confirmed as his name does not appear on the ferry's travel manifest.
Kita telah dimaklumkan oleh pihak keluarga bahawa Encik Fauzi ada yang dalam kapal tersebut dan kita telah berhubung dengan pihak berkuasa sini agar mereka maklum dan mereka masih lagi dalam proses operasi mencari 29 mangsa yang masih hilang dan kita akan terus memantau perkara ini dan berhubung dengan pihak berkuasa di sini dan juga ahli keluarga kalau ada perkembangan lanjut.
On Friday, it was reported that Fauzi is feared to be among the victims still missing in the Bali ferry tragedy, which has claimed at least 6 lives. He's believed to have been inside the tourist van that was also on board the ill-fated ferry KMP Tunu Pratama Jaya, which was carrying 65 people when it capsized in the Bali Strait. The search and rescue operation is ongoing, with 29 survivors rescued so far. Barisan Nasional aims to reclaim all seats currently held by Bersatu and PAS in the upcoming 16th general election, G16. Its chairman, Datuk Sri Ahmad Zaid Hamidi, said he's confident that the coalition's candidates can fulfill this mission if given the opportunity to contest in all the affected constituencies. Zahir stressed that detailed surveys and thorough studies of all the constituencies involved must be carried out before allowing candidates to contest.
Kita lakukan tinjauan, kita lakukan kajian. InsyaAllah, fa'iza azanta fatawakkal ala Allah. Kita bekerja bersungguh-sungguh dan tawakal pada Allah Ta'ala. InsyaAllah, kursi-kursi itu akan kembali dimenangi oleh calon-calon AMNO dalam pilihan raya umum.
Zahir, who is also AMNO president, stressed that the current political landscape is vastly different, with BN now working alongside its partners in Pakatan Harapan to win elections. He noted that AMNO currently holds only 26 seats, while the rest were won by other BN component parties. As such, BN must continue its political cooperation with PH and not be swayed by the AMNO-DAP narrative being pushed by certain quarters in an attempt to fracture the alliance. Meanwhile, AMNO needs to devise new strategies for G16 that target the younger generation who make up nearly 40% of voters. The party's Johari emphasized that the upcoming election will be a test to determine whether UMNO can adapt to the times, especially in understanding the younger generation, or remain stuck in its old ways.
Kita nak dapat kesenambungan ini sangat penting supaya kita UMNO akan dapat menyusun strategi pada masa akan datang, melihat bagaimana mereka ini boleh menjadi sebahagian daripada perjuangan kita. Bukan sahaja pengundi, tapi dia nak jadi perjuangan kepada kita. Maka dia memberi kita input-input yang boleh memberi kesedaran banyak kepada pemimpin kita, termasuk saya. Itu belajar bukan saja kejayaan yang kita kena tengok, tapi kita nak tengok apakah kehadapan, strategi apa yang kita nak susun dan sebagainya.
He said this to reporters after officiating the Parit Sulong UMNO division meeting in Batu Pahat, Johor on Saturday. Johari also said that UMNO have to accept the fact that today's youth no longer judge a party based on its past successes, but rather on what it offers for the future. He added that the party's wings, particularly UMNO Youth and Puteri UMNO, must also serve as a bridge between the older and younger generations. Motorcyclist killed in crash with MPV. This and more from the local front after this breather.
Ya, ada apa?
Pak Semat, nampak orang hanyut.
InsyaAllah. Di mana? Mana Andra? Apa kau tak buat pada Andra? Azda hantar dia ke neraka, Pak.
Aku nak tangkap tikus yang tolong Ari Jaya. Kita kena cari bukti.
Sekarang ni, serigala merah dah hancur. Kau, ada aku je sekarang ni. Buka mata kau, Ais.
Angkat aku jadi ketua baru serigala merah.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Thanks for staying with us. Authorities have seized industrial goods worth over 96 million ringgit and arrested dozens of undocumented foreign workers in a nationwide crackdown on illegally imported and uncertified metal products. The seizures and arrests were made during simultaneous raids conducted under Oppadu 2.0 at 6 factories located in Johor, Selangor and Malacca on Friday. In a statement issued on Saturday, Bukit Aman Internal Security and Public Order Department Director Datuk Sri Azmi Abu Qasim said the targeted factories were found to be importing, processing and distributing metal products including semi-finished and finished goods intended for the construction sector, as well as various local industries without proper certification. These uncertified materials pose serious safety risks to users and the industry at large. The enforcement team also uncovered the illegal employment of foreign workers at the premises. A total of 60 individuals were detained, comprising 3 locals and 57 foreigners, aged between 26 and 59, for various offences. Further investigations are ongoing under several legal provisions, including the Immigration Act, the Environmental Quality Act, and the Local Government and Building Bylaws. In Sarawak, 4 people, including 2 children, drowned, while 6 others are still missing after the boat they were travelling in capsized off the coast of Belawai in Muka on Saturday. A Sarawak Fire and Rescue Department spokesman said 7 others were reported safe in the incident, which occurred at about 2 p.m. A team from the Tanjung Manis Fire and Rescue Station was immediately deployed to the scene, located 22 kilometres away, after a distress call was received at 11 p.m. Upon arrival at 3:12 p.m, the team discovered that a fiberglass boat carrying 17 passengers had capsized. The bodies of the 4 victims who drowned were handed over to the police for further action. The 6 missing victims include 5 men and a boy. Search operations have been put on hold and will resume on Sunday morning. A motorcyclist was killed after he was hit by a multi-purpose vehicle MPV in Dungun, Terengganu on Saturday. In the 6:35 a.m. incident, 35-year-old Muhammad Faisal Muhammad Noor died at the scene after sustaining severe bodily injuries. District Police Chief Superintendent Maizura Abdul Kadir said during the incident, the victim, who worked as a shuttle bus driver, was on his way from Dungun to his workplace in Bandar Al-Muktafi Bilal Shah. The crash occurred when the MPV, driven by a 35-year-old man, entered the opposite lane while attempting to overtake another vehicle. The victim was unable to avoid the oncoming MPV in time, resulting in collision that threw him approximately 20 meters into a ditch. His body was later taken to the Dungun Hospital Forensic Department for post-mortem. Double glory for Malaysia. Action from the Asian Junior Individual Championships when Nightline returns.
Kerja kita belum selesai.
Peningnya. Kecil ke besar, besar ke kecil? Mestilah I nak yang besar. Persoalannya, saiz apa yang puas? Mestilah saiz 65 inci. Lagi besar, lagi layan.
Juara!
Wow! Lagi layan tengok tonton dekat Smart TV besar. RM9.90 je.
Lagi besar skrin, lagi puas stream. Layan tonton di Smart TV, repeat sampai pagi.
Saya tak pernah tinggal dia. Mana-mana saya akan bawa dia, saya tak tinggal. Dia ada risiko kematian tiba-tiba. Sebab tu selalu oksigen dia drop. Tiba-tiba dia pengsan je. Saya ingin dia berdiri, panggil saya. Saya cakap apa, cubalah panggil ibu sekali. Dia takkan dapat panggil saya.
Cat Fashion Week. Miau menyala, gaya membara. Temui 8 finalis Cat Fashion Week. Eksklusif di Nona setiap Ahad 2 petang. Bersiaran di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Pak Dali.
Ya, ada apa?
Pak Semat nampak orang hanyut.
InsyaAllah. Di mana?
Mana Andra? Apa kau tak buat pada Andra?
Azlan tak ada ke neraka, Pak.
Aku nak tangkap tikus yang tolong Arijaya. Kita kena cari bukti.
Sekarang ni, serigala merah dah hancur. Kau, ada aku je sekarang ni. Buka mata kau, Ais.
Angkat aku jadi ketua baru Sri Kalungan.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
On to the foreign front. In the US, a major search and rescue operation is underway in Texas after flash floods killed at least 27 people and left many girls missing from a riverside summer camp on Friday. Authorities said at least 27 children remain missing after floodwaters swept through an all-girls Christian summer camp on the banks of the rain-swollen Guadalupe River, where more than 700 children were in attendance. With little warning, the Guadalupe River rose 8 meters in less than an hour, and flooding that followed swept away mobile homes, vehicles, and holiday cabins. A state of emergency has been declared in several counties where roads have been washed away and phone lines are down. US President Donald Trump called the tragedy shocking and terrible as the White House pledged additional assistance. Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva were laid to rest on Saturday, 2 days after the siblings died in a car crash in Spain that shocked the football world. Football stars joined family and friends at a funeral in his hometown of Gondomar near Porto and conducted by the Bishop of Porto. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk and left-back Andy Robertson led the tributes from Jota's club, carrying bunches of red flowers in the shape of the two brothers' jerseys. They were accompanied by other members of the team, including Alexis McAllister, Darwin Núñez and Ibrahima Konate. The team's manager Arne Slot, along with CEO Michael Edwards, were also present. A number of national teammates, including Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Danilo Pereira and João Felix, as well as head coach Roberto Martinez, were present, though national captain Cristiano Ronaldo was notably absent. 28-year-old Jota and his brother Andre, 25, were found dead near Zamora in northwestern Spain early on Thursday after the Lamborghini they were driving crashed on an isolated stretch of highway just after midnight and burst into flames. In other news, US President Donald Trump has signed his landmark policy bill into law a day after it was narrowly passed by Congress. At a White House signing ceremony aligned with Independence Day celebrations on Friday, Trump signed the bill, enacting major parts of his agenda, including tax cuts, higher defense spending, and tougher immigration policies. Trump told supporters it will unleash economic growth, but he must now convince skeptical Americans, as polling suggests many disapprove parts of the bill. The bill's passage amounts to a big win for Trump and his Republican allies, who have argued it will boost economic growth, while largely dismissing a non-partisan analysis predicting it will add more than $3 trillion to the nation's $36.2 trillion debt. The bill was passed with a 218 to 214 vote after an emotional debate on the House floor on Thursday. Sports now, squash and the 2025 Asian Junior Individual Championships. It was a memorable day for Malaysia as the country's young stars clinched 2 titles at the tournament in Gimcheon, South Korea on Saturday. The wins came courtesy of Loh Wasen in the boys under-19 final and Gino Rika Ning, who claimed the girls under-15 crown. Wasen capped off his junior career in style, outlasting top seed and home favourite Na Ju Young 11-8, 11-6, 4-11, 13-15, 11-5, repeating his 2023 under-17 final win over the same opponent in Dalian, China. The second seed, based at Trinity College in Connecticut, will now turn his focus to the World Junior Championships in Cairo later this month. Meanwhile, Gino Rika stormed to the girls' under-15 title, dismissing India's Sanvi Kalanki 11-4, 11-6, 12-10. It marks her second Asian junior triumph after her under-13 victory in Dalian 2 years ago, both achieved without the coach in the corner, making the feat even more extraordinary. On to football now and the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. A late own goal by goalkeeper Weverton Pereira da Silva took Chelsea through to the semi-finals as the Premier League side edged Brazil's Palmeiras 2-1 in their last 8 clash on Friday. The Premier League giant struck first in the 16th minute when England international Cole Palmer produced a moment of pure brilliance to put them ahead. Palmeiras hit back through teen sensation Estevao Willian, who is set to join Chelsea after the tournament, levelling it at 1-1 in the 53rd minute. However, with just 7 minutes left on the clock, a low cross from Malo Gusto deflected off Palmeiras keeper Weverton Pereira da Silva and into his own net, sealing a nail-biting win for the Blues. Enzo Maresca's men will now face another Brazilian powerhouse, Fluminense, in the semi-final at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium on Tuesday as Chelsea edge closer to a spot in the final. Earlier, substitute Hercules struck a 70th minute winner as Brazil's Fluminense defeated Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal 2-1 to reach the Club World Cup semi-finals. Fluminense took the lead early on after a poor clearance allowed Matheus Martinelli to slot home. Al Hilal hit back after the break when Khalidou Koulibaly nodded down a Ruben Neves corner for Marcos Leonardo to tap in and level the score. Despite the equaliser, the outcome was settled with 20 minutes remaining when half-time substitute Hercules raced into the box and fired past Yassine Bonu to seal the emphatic 2-1 win for the Brazilian side. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at fireworks lighting up the night sky over Caesar's Palace on the Las Vegas Strip, part of Nevada's Independence Day celebrations. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin, Abdullah. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.